Yes. So we are discussing about the concept of how the variables are declared and accessed. Good. So this is how we are having the different types of data types in JavaScript. First type is number. It takes how many 8 bytes, and string takes 2 bytes per character. Boolean takes 4 bytes to represent that one. And there is undefined, which does not when we do not have any value. Good. Just now we have seen like where is present. How we are going to indicate it as Boolean? Where is present is equals to true or false, isn't it? So you can just check it out. Console.log of is present. So what you'll get type of that? What is the type of that? You'll get it as what? Boolean. Yes, right. Type of is present is Boolean. Good. Isn't it? It's Boolean. Now, guys, like here in this case, like when we are having Boolean type to be represented, you can give either true or false, and it takes 4 bytes of memory. Is it clear? So basically, numbers can represent any number. Then you have string. String is collection or group of characters that are what immutable. Good. Then you have Boolean to represent either true or false values. Good. Then you have string type, then undefined and null. Just now I've explained you the difference between undefined and null. Yeah, then let's go to the concept of non-primitives. Now these are all scalar values, isn't it? And this will be of type value, like it will handle the values. And when we talk about non-primitive, it is of type what? Reference type. It is of type reference type. I'll just explain what do you mean by reference type, then we'll go for arrays and functions and objects. Good. Now, one thing I would like to make it clear here is that when we're talking about primitive data types, number you can see n is small, string small, v small, undefined null. Okay, fine. So you should be careful with that one. Why? Because equally representing objects we have with that one. So how we have that one, I'll tell you at the latter part of the session. Non-primitive types are arrays, functions, and objects. Is that clear? So these are your non-primitive types. So what is an array? When do we use an array? Is whenever we want to represent a collection of elements or set of elements or group of elements which are referred with a common name that are related to a particular entity. Like in JavaScript. So how do you declare an array? Yeah, you can use wet or var. Now suppose I have colors. Colors is equals to you have red, comma, green, comma, blue. So these are the set of values that are enclosed within the square brackets. This indicates that you have an array. So an array is also of type reference type, isn't it? Now we'll see how you are going to have it. Console.log. So about arrays in detail, we will see in the latter sessions to come. Console.log, if you give type of, so it is representing as an object. Can you see here, all of you? Why object? I will tell you that. So basically, when we talk about array, it is index based representation. The element at the index of 0, then 1, then 2 we have. Yeah, you can use a loop for that one and get it, or you can use for each and display that one. We'll discuss that in the transitions, but you can have your colors, isn't it? Now what are the operations you can do? You can assign the elements to an array, you can read the elements from an array, you can modify the elements, you can delete from an elements in an array, isn't it? Curd operations, create, update, read and delete operations. So how you are reading the elements is by the index. So the element at the index of 0 is red, isn't it? At the index of 1 is this one, index of 2 is this one. Now I can add another element that is not there, isn't it? How do you add it? Colors of index 0, 1, 2, it can give you a 3 is equals to cyan, isn't it? Now you can see a cyan is added. Now array is also of type what? Reference type. So what do you mean by reference type? Just see here all of you. Now here, once you have displayed this one, now let me declare one here, basic color. Basic call is equals to, I'm assigning it colors. Now what will happen in the memory? You have only these colors. So the basic color will only reference the colors. It will not again be created in the memory. Good. This will refer to that. Okay. Now see here, if I perform the operations either of through either of that one. So basic call of 0 is equals to, instead of red, if I give it here pink. Now you can see here I have changed this one through the basic call, but it will reflect equally on the colors as well. Console.log of colors. Now you can see here in this case, isn't it? The second output shows that one I have performed the operations through the basic call array, isn't it? This variable type of that one. Now through that one I have made the changes here. I have changed the index value at the index of 0 to pink, and I have just printed it through the array, original array colors which was created. Like you can see here, the element at the index of 0 was red. Now it has been changed to what? Pink. Good. So that is how we are calling it as of type reference type. Now here, why array is of type object means we are having different functions, like array support different functions are there. So let me go to this console and just have it. Quickly we'll just see that one, where a is equals to 1 comma 2 5. Now you can see here you are having the elements in the array, isn't it? Prototype represents an array, so you have all these functions. You can concatenate, you can have entries, you can find, filter. So these are all the functions that you have: map, reduce. We'll see that one in next sessions to come. So we'll see in detail about these functions and what the operation that we can perform here. So you can see array prototype, isn't it? If you want to add an element, for that there is a function, isn't it? So it represents an object of which type here? Array actually. Okay, A is capital in this case. That is an object. And all these are all the functions that are there which are useful to perform the operations on the arrays. Good. Like basically, I'll just show you two functions. Like you can use. So colors is there. So colors you can use the index based. Now we do not have. I want to add an element at the end. Colors dot push of new color you want to add. It is not there here. Cyan I'm adding, isn't it? So this will just add the element. This function will do that one. So we are doing it using this function push, isn't it? So you can have a function colors dot pop. You can remove the element. Most recently added element can be removed also. Okay, that is the last element in the array can be removed using the pop function. You have includes, find. There are a number of functions are there that we'll discuss maybe in next sessions to come. Is that okay? Good. Cool. Now let's go to the next concept. Yeah. Any questions in this on the arrays? Anyone? You can just ping me in the chat. Yeah. I'll I'll come to the questions at the end. You can just send me the questions on any topic. If you have questions, you can just send me in the chat. I'll address them one by one. Good. So basically, yeah, these are the basic things like how we can use this one arrays and declare that one and perform the operations. So what is array here is collection of elements. So when do we use array actually? Whenever we want to organize a set of elements, a group of elements that can be of same or different data types also. Now see here, I'm just creating. I'm handling. I want to handle the student details. I can do it using this array also. So how do you create an array is this way. They are giving 10, comma 20. Student number is 10. Then name is Rajesh. Then codes is JavaScript. Okay. Now his email ID or mobile number we can take a@gmail.com. So like that we can just create an array to store to represent group of values which are separated by comma, where comma separated values indicate that it is an array. Now in this case we are having all these values represented to a single entity. Good. Cool. Yeah, let's go to the next concept of function type. Now in JavaScript functions are also what yeah, in JavaScript, Ravi Shankar, you can store values of different types. Like in C language or other language, it is of what? Homogeneous, collection of same type. But in JavaScript, it can be of different types. Okay, it can be of different types. You can have the values of different types. Good. Now let's go to the function type. So what is a function here actually? Generally, how do you create a function in JavaScript is here function. Suppose I'm giving here display function. You have arguments here, isn't it? This is how you just create a function in JavaScript. Just can give a console.log welcome plus name you are giving, isn't it? How do you call a function is by its name, isn't it? Yeah, you execute a function by giving the name display of Raj. So the function is executed and it is displaying welcome Raj. Good. Now in JavaScript, everything is in the form of object. So let me create here. Like suppose let the same way we can do it here. Display is equals to function. Then you're giving a parameter, isn't it? Console.log welcome plus name. The same thing. How we are doing it using functions. You can just check it out. Yeah, we did not call that. That's why we are getting undefined output. So how will we execute this one? Function name is it will be display now, and it is expecting one parameter. So what will be the output here? The function is executed, isn't it? It is giving you welcome Smith. So this is how you can just create a function, isn't it? And you can just check it out. What is the type of? When you give a type of console.log type of display, so we'll be getting what? It's a function of. Can you see? It's a function type. Is that clear? Yeah, function is also reference type. If you are assigning one function to another function, like if I give display is equals to welcome display like that, if you are creating a function, it will be in reference type here like this. Like suppose welcome is equals to I'm giving here display. So what will happen here? Whenever I'm going to call it as console.log type of welcome. Okay, it is also a function. Now only one body of the function will be created. Just another any number of references can refer to that. Only one body of the function core, whatever you are having. No, only once it is created in the memory, and subsequent whatever references you are assigning, that will be assigned to that object. Cool. So this is how you can just create a function. My discussion here is how functions are data types here in JavaScript. So how to create functions and about functions, these all things we'll just discuss in next sessions to come. So basically, it is, you can see here, it is of type function and it is also of type reference type. Cool. So reference type in the sense only one copy of that body of that code is created in the memory once, and any number of values can refer to that one. Isn't it? Through any source, you are going to perform the operations on that one, so it will be referred to that object. So that is what we mean by the reference type. Cool. So in JavaScript, the other way that you can have a reference type is through functions. Okay, so this is also how you can have or you can create the functions. Cool. Now let's come to object. Yeah, one thing I would like to make it clear that in JavaScript everything is objects. Everything is object. So I mean it. When I say everything is object, I mean it. So sir, you can see here where you're giving n is equals to 10. How can you call this as an object? Yes. Internally, how it is represented object, I'll tell you. Now when we are saying it's a number, sir, it's looking like a primitive type. It's a number. Then how can we call it as a object? Okay, that I'll come to it. So at the end of today's session, we'll discuss that as the last topic, how everything is in object in JavaScript. Now, what is an object actually? An object is collection of properties, isn't it? An object is collection of properties. So we can create our own types by grouping different properties, where each property has a key and a value. So how we can create an object here? Let's see here. Let's create one object here. There's no such type called as student. By grouping different properties. So you are going to enclose the properties within the curly braces separated by comma. Now, what is the first thing that we can give here is I want to give the property name as student. I want to represent one property for student name. Then give the colon and the value that you want to assign to that key. So this represent one single property. So one property is over, then you want to go for the next property, comma separated with that one you're giving here. Next, I'm giving codes. Yeah, let's take one number also representing that fee. Okay, so this represents a object here. So this simple object. Now, how do we? This is how we can create an object. Third operation. See, is create is one way you can create. The other way, I'll tell you that one. Now I can see a console.log of student. You have all these properties, key and value represented, isn't it? You can just see a type of student is object. Good. Now you want to represent each value by their property, we can get it. So student dot name of the property is name. So you're getting the value associated with that key. Is that clear? You can get it this way. Console.log. I can give it this way also. Student then enclosed. Now the key can be in any case. The key can be in any case. The key can be number also. Okay, what we can have, yeah, I will elaborate on that one. The key value can be either a number also. Suppose I want to give it as a number. Example I'm telling you. Okay, it can be number also. Now you can give here name. Console.log of student. Number, yeah, we had given in single quotes. Yeah. What is the error here is comma. We did not give comma. Fine. So when we are giving like this, it should be given in the string. Is that okay? Now when we are giving like this, you can see here 10 in this one. Yeah, I just will take the complicated example later on. We can keep it simple right now. I'll just elaborate on that one. We are running out of time. I'll just take the questions in last 10 minutes and ask that time. So you can see we can access this way or this way. So what is, when do we access using the square brackets means when you are having, suppose I am giving like this. I want to give email space ID. So in this case, what is the key here? It is having the space, isn't it? So in that case, you can just create like this, isn't it? a@gmail.com. So in this case, we cannot use dot. Why? Because the key is having a blank space in that. So in that case, it is better to use what? Square bracket to access that one. Good. Now, when we are creating the objects, you have student. Now, student dot mobile number is not there, isn't it? There's no mobile number. So what will happen with this one? It will be created automatically. The property will be created. Now, when we have created student, we did not have the mobile number in that one. Now, if you try to assign that one, what will happen? It will automatically create that. Good. You can see a mobile number is added here. And one more thing, like you can have key as anything, subjects of interest or programming languages known. Known I want to represent. So this is in the form of an array. You can have an array also here as in the function. Yeah, I can say Java, you can say C++, you can say JavaScript, isn't it? Now, what is this actually? You have what? Array as a member. Is it clear? In the object, an array, isn't it? Not one value, single value, but you have an array of values. Then there's another way also. Like you can have the function also in this one. Suppose I'm giving display. It can be any member. It can be of any type that we have discussed in the above data types. It can take any of type. It can take single number. It can take string. It can take boolean value. It can take what you call undefined also. Yeah, we have declared but don't have any value. We can give undefined. Display info. Now I'm creating a function here. So when we are calling display, it should display the details. Like I want to display this dot name. Yeah, what is this? We'll discuss some other time. For now, you can just it will revert to the current object, isn't it? Now, in this case, what is here display info? It's a key, isn't it? But it's a what type of key? It's not a data value, but it's a function key, isn't it? So, how do you call this one? Console. Sorry, what is the object name here? Is student. Student dot. You can see a display info. So it would just create that one, isn't it? You can see here it has displayed Smith and JavaScript. There's a name and codes I have displayed. So you can have a function also as part of the object. Is that okay? This is how you can just create an object. So according to our requirement, we can create our own types by taking the primitive types or arrays or functions according to our requirement. So this is the basic concept. Why? That's why we are calling JavaScript is object based. Good, object based. So this is another way also. Just very quickly, I'll just sum up this one. Student is equals to new of object. So this is how I can create an object type. So in this case, what are the properties it will have that we are going to give it later on? Student dot id is equals to, we can give here 1 2 a b c, isn't it? Student dot name. So what will be the all of you see in the above case we have created the student object. Now in this one, what you have here, student we are creating. So in the above type, what we have done, so we have just specified within the curly brackets what are the properties it will have represented with the end values. But in this case, when we are creating it using the object, so here object, good. So everything that we are going to perform now, suppose if it is not there, it will be created. Student ID is not there, it will be created as a property, new property, its value will be this one. This will be the key and this will be the value. Good. So that is how we can just create an object. Yeah, the same way you can create the function objects as well. Good. Yeah, fine. Yeah, like more things about the objects we'll discuss in next sessions to come. Now these are the reference types. Now why everything in JavaScript is object? Yeah, that was my question at the beginning. Everything in JavaScript is object. Why? How? You can better understand here with this example. We'll take up here. All of you see, whenever I'm declaring here where n is equals to, I'm just giving one value, n is equals to, look at this, 10.99. It's just a number, isn't it? N is of type number. You can just check it here. Type of n, it has given it as a number. That is a primitive data type, isn't it? Now, if I try to convert now n dot to fixed, three values. Now, what is the value of n? You are getting 2 fixed to 3, so it is 10.99, and yet it has given 11.000. Now my question is like how variable of type number is having the support for these functions. So it works like this. It works like this. Good. So it works like this, that n will be converted to number object. So there is something called a number object. You see a number. Okay, number is an object in this one. You can see here it is having the functions. Different functions are there in that one. Capital N. Don't get. Yeah, I want to make it clear. Small n indicates it is a primitive data type. The capital N indicates it is an object type number. It has got various functions that we can use on the numeric type. In the same way, string is there, isn't it? Suppose if we have var s is equals to computer. Now, if you convert s dot to uppercase or to lowercase, good. So, what your Java interpreter will do means, first of all, this s is converted to object of type string object. Okay, then it will apply this function. Then again, it will convert this s to the primitive type. Is that clear? So this is done automatically by the JavaScript interpreter. So that's why JavaScript is called as what, dynamic programming language. So what are the various object types we are having? That also I'll just list here. So to represent numbers, we have capital M, number. Gone. Okay. So what are the types we are having? Number. Then there is string, capital S. Then you have math. All mathematical functions are listed in the math object. These are predefined objects that are available for us. There is an array object to represent that array based operations. Okay, for that capital A. There's some boolean you can have it. So how do you create an object? Just now I've indicated with an example. Object is equal to new exact array. Memory is allocated using that one, isn't it? And there's some function f capital, isn't it? Function object is there predefined. F, you can create the function using that object also. Good. Then there is object, O capital, object of type, isn't it? Now in the below example we have created that one. This is actually an object type. You have a number, you have a string, you have math, you have array, boolean, and to represent date and time values, we have date. I'll tell you an example with date also. Yeah, date. So don't get confused with the small n number and this capital. These are all predefined objects which have, yeah, yeah, just like collections. Fine. So there's another thing. What is that for regular expressions? Rect expression. Good. So this can be used to perform the operations on the object. Is that clear, everyone? Good. So let's comment this. Now, how do you create this one? Like, if you want to create an array with that one, you can see let a is equals to new array. Isn't it? You want to create a function. Let sum is equals to new is the keyword that is used to allocate the memory to an object. Yeah, you're giving the keyword function. Then whatever arguments you want, you can just give your enclose with that a. Then sorry, a comma. This will go as the first parameter. Then b as second parameter. Then whatever function code you're writing here will go here. Return a plus b, isn't it? Console.log sum of 10 comma 20. Okay, got it, 30. So function, this is how you create a function object. Now in this case, you can just check it here. All of you just pay attention to this one as well. Console.log type of sum. What you got? It is a function object. Is that clear? It's a function type, but it's an object type of sum. In the same way, a is equals to new an array. So generally, how do we create an array? Like simple in terms, we have seen that one. A is equals to. This is the that. This is one way, and this is another way of just creating array type in JavaScript. Yeah, like one example with date also. Like if you want to manipulate date and time values, we have seen date. Yeah, let us got a different discussion on that one. Like let us have here. Let us say date of join is equals to new then date. Console.log. It has got various functions to add different values. Date of join here and yeah, already it's there, isn't it? You can see a current system date and time you are getting here. Okay, current system date and time you are getting through this one. Yeah, you have very, many functions like to manipulate the date and time values in that one. So you can see that one. The to date is there. D is capital here, isn't it? Like getting current system date and time. Like you can see here D dot. You can have the functions get date, get year, get full months, isn't it? These are all the functions that are supported with that one. Set date, set milliseconds, hours. These are all functions that are supported with the date. Yes. Any queries in today's session? This is how you can just work with the basic data types and primitive data types in JavaScript. Yes, any queries? Like first it was asked about, so when do we use undefined and null particularly, Uday? Yeah, when we are not having exactly any value to be defined, we know that, hey, in the memory, like, we do not want to assign any value at that place. For that, we can give here, there exists some value. One simple example I'll tell you where Yeah, there are some students you want to have in the sequence. Hmm, sorry. First student is Raj. He's there. Second student is there, but we don't know exactly his name. So it is better to give undefined. It is there actually. So at the index of one, there is undefined. If you give null some value, null indicates your student name is null. It will treat good. So it will take memory also. Okay. Now suppose we have thought next student is there. Ravi is there. In that case, it is better to use what? Undefined or null? Better to use undefined. Then if we give null, it will consume memory and indicate that non-presence of value. That is the difference you can have. And you can compare if some value is equals to undefined. You do not have any value. You can use strict equality operator on that one and just check it undefined. Yeah, next question that was asked was in JavaScript arrays are heterogeneous. Like when we talk about arrays in C programming language, array is contiguous collection of homogeneous collection of elements of, isn't it, that are referred with a common name. So you have all the elements of same type in C language if you take strict. But here it can be of any type. I have taken the example where, yeah, that should be related to a particular entity. Suppose I am taking car is equals to this is the car model is there, car name is there, isn't it? I want to represent cost. Okay, whatever it is, rough figure, and like year of manufacture, whatever it is. Clear. That can be of different type. Color of that one, I want to indicate it's a red, isn't it? So that can be of different type. Yes. Undefined takes memory. Sorry, null does not. Sorry, undefined. Yeah, is undefined and null occupy memory. How much it occupies? Yes, good. I have said you that undefined does not occupy any memory. There is non-presence of, we have declared, but there is no value, so it does not take any memory. So yeah, okay. Null is an object. Ashok, null is an object. So the memory of an object, how you are going to calculate is based on the value that is there. Is that clear? So I have explained you. Like I'll make it clear for you. And yeah, some codes is equals to, suppose if I'm giving null. See yeah, what do you get type of here? When we give type of, what do we get here? Console.log type of codes. What do you get here? It's an object, not null, isn't it? So what is the memory of an object? My question is, what is the memory of an object? Yeah, it's an object. Good. So the memory of an object is determined based on its members generally. Good. Yeah, how it works? Shivaji return a plus b in function parameters. How it works? Is the function code. Okay, fine. Let me come to this. So this is the first parameter. Generally, if you are writing the functions, no, like this, you are giving function. You are having arguments a comma like mm, sum of a comma b comma c. How many parameters are there here? Three parameters. You want to send that one, we are going to give that parameters here. And the last thing that will be there is the function code. This is the function code. Okay, what is the, whatever code you are writing here, no, that will be the function code here. That is to be given in the form of strings only. So these go as a parameter to the function object. Shivaji. Okay, fine. Any other queries? Yeah, date and time concept. Yeah, we will can calculate age. Yeah, yeah, we'll have some examples on that one. Maybe, yeah, I'll take some session on date and time. There are many interesting functions are there. We can just play with that. Okay, I'll certainly see into this. Any other queries?